Welcome to episode 4 of the Rice Vodka Life podcast. We're going to be talking about fulfillment and purpose in this episode. Today I reckon fulfillment and purpose is more important than anything, and we fail to find it, and it's difficult, and there's so many different things that we can explore within this topic. So I want to get right into it with a question for you, Peter. How do you know you've chosen the right purpose in life and work or any regard? How do you know if it's right?
Ooh, how do you know if it's right? I feel you'll never question your purpose or fulfillment when you've got the right choice, because you're so focused on achieving that goal, or you feel happy inside. So it really comes down to what makes you feel satisfied, more or less. And
Yeah, I think finding your purpose and choosing the right purpose is a thing that a lot of people struggle with. And I would say, it's difficult, and I'm definitely battling with this as well. But to choose not to do anything or to be stuck or, just weighing up your options because you're trying to find the right purpose is a dangerous place to be in. I think a lot of people end up there and they end up frozen. I think something important with finding, what you want to do and purpose is just trying things and getting out there and doing different things in order to figure more out. If you stay put, if you stay stuck in analysis, you ain't going to learn anything about yourself. You're not going to grow, nothing grows by staying still and being stagnant, right? It has to move and it has to, change.
Absolutely. Well, I guess in that case, Taco, what does give you fulfillment?
I think what gives you fulfillment can vary a lot, and obviously fulfillment is a broad thing, right? Fulfillment can be your personal fulfillment in your relationships, fulfillment in work and your goals, and all of those things. I think it's important to do things that align with your values, and I think as people, we internally can gauge if something is fulfilling for us, right? Whether we find a workout fulfilling. Oh, I got a lot out of that. I put in the right amount of work. Great. I want to do that again. You spend time with someone, you can very soon realize when that person is absolute trash, and to be around, and I'm not bagging on people, but you have those times where you don't want to spend time with that person again. That's okay. That's not fulfilling. Work, if you're not fulfilled day in, day out, you're going to burn out. You're going to feel bad. You're going to hate your job. You're going to be complaining every 5 seconds, every chance you get. It's those things that help you gauge what is giving you fulfillment and what is not giving you fulfillment, and from there you've got to act on those things, obviously, in order to ensure that you are staying fulfilled.
Okay, great answer. A little bit different to what I was suggesting as well, though. I loved it. But what gives you, Taco, in particular, to your personal fulfillment?
Okay.
Great answer nonetheless. I like
okay,
it.
sorry guys, I went a bit off the question there, but I hope you guys got something out of that. Yeah, for me, what gives me fulfillment personally is honestly doing things beyond myself. And whether that's volunteering for Red Frogs, which is an organization where we help out and support different people at festivals and events where, people are taking drugs or drinking, and, we just help them have a great and safe time. Or whether it's doing this podcast, actually, this is fulfilling for me. Being able to share ideas with you guys is so cool. And I'm so excited and thankful for the opportunity that you guys actually listen. And if you hear this, always feel free to DM or contact me or engage with me on social media or Facebook if you've got me on Facebook, because I genuinely enjoy this and this is super fulfilling. I think also fulfilling for myself is reaching goals and building myself as a person and growing. There's nothing like seeing that, 3 months ago or a year, you're a completely different person and that you've changed and you've learned things and you've developed. That's flipping fulfilling, and yeah, just whether it's building myself or building others, I think those two areas are where I find the most fulfillment, and I'm so thankful that in those areas that things are going at the moment, and it's only the start. They can only grow and go further.
Absolutely. I feel I give a big part of when I lost a sense of purpose myself when I traveled overseas, and it was quite a depressing time for me because things were not going my way. What made me feel so depressed during that time was because of the lack of goals. 2 major goals that I wanted to achieve, I decided they weren't important to me anymore. And once those goals were gone, I almost had no goals. And that point was probably the lowest point in my life. So I like what you mentioned about goals there, because that really gave me that fulfillment and gave me that purpose. And working towards those goals really gets you motivated and keeps pushing you forward to improve yourself and your situation, and I guess chase that happiness,
Yeah, end of the day, fulfillment, I think it's important that it actually leads to happiness. It leads to, joy and positivity and breeds greatness in your life, I think. Do you think, Peter, fulfillment is a destination that you reach, a certain point where you have to achieve everything and you get to, a peak? Or do you think it's that journey up towards that peak or that certain goal that you find fulfillment?
Ooh, I like that question. Now that I really fully listen to that, I definitely think it's a journey. I think fulfillment is, you feel, what's the word I'm looking for? When you achieve a goal, you feel triumphant, right? But I believe fulfillment is the whole process of getting to that. For example, if my goal was to save $10,000, right? The whole process, it will take a while. And when I reached it, that goal would only be worthwhile because of the process that I went to get that. And what I mean by that is if my goal was to get save $10,000, and one of my rich friends came over and he goes, hey, here's $10,000, I'll be like, yes, I reached my goal technically, but it wouldn't have given me that fulfillment that I wanted. And that's what I believe the journey and the process going for that definitely gives you that fulfillment. And it's about enjoying every day, enjoying the little things and these little bits of happiness in between the hard work and, the ups and downs of life. But it is the challenge and the journey, I think, that really gives you that fulfillment. What about you, Tucker?
Yeah, I fully agree with you. It's definitely the journey. When I think about certain things that I've achieved that I thought about when I was, younger, and now that I have, it's not the fact that I have those things that makes me happy and fulfilled. It's the fact that I did the work and I made the right choices at the times which it was difficult in order to reach where I've reached. That's what I'm, looking back on and brings fulfillment into my life, is the fact that I've been through that journey. And along the journey, as well as looking back on the journey itself, that's where I find the most fulfillment, I would say.
Nice, Taco. And bringing back to what you said about your purpose earlier, helping out in those festivals where people are drunk and stuff, like, how did you get to that point where you discovered that gave you purpose or that gave you fulfillment?
Honestly, literally how I ended up volunteering with Red Frogs is on a whim. I was like, I don't want to just do what I've done for New Year's, for the past 5 years. I don't want to just go hang out with some people, this and that, go hang out at a house, maybe, do this and that. I want to mix it up and I want to try something different. I want to stretch myself. I want to do something that might be uncomfortable. I actually went to that festival not really knowing anyone. I knew of someone who was leading there, but other than that, to actually spend New Year's with a whole bunch of new people on your own, that ain't what people normally do. That's not cool. People might think that's weird if anything, but I thought, I'm just going to do this and I'm going to see how it's going to go. And it literally opened up a world of opportunity to find, a level of fulfillment and purpose in helping others. And, I've always, not always, but I've discovered that about myself, even through other church leadership and opportunities and youth and helping others out. I see that that's something that has brought me fulfillment. So I've learned that about myself. But the more that you do, the more you push, the more you try, that's how you find what might be fulfilling. You're never going to know if you keep doing the same things, you're stuck in the same routine. You're going to get the same result. You're going to feel just as bored, you're going to be just as down. But if you go and try something else, if you push, if you experiment and learn about what life has to offer, just go out there. There's incredible things and opportunities, organizations. It's about you choosing to get amongst those things, because in New Zealand, we're fortunate to have all sorts of cool groups that you can check out, or opportunities, charities, or even you can start your own thing. If it's not there and it doesn't exist and you want to make an impact in that area, power to you. Go for it, Who's to tell you that you can't do it? Who's to tell you that you can't raise the money, make the impact? Nobody. Nobody has the right to tell you that. Besides, if you tell yourself you can't do it. Besides, if you place a limit on yourself. Don't place limits on yourself. Grow and go further than you've ever been before. Push yourself, because life, is short. We only have one shot, and if we don't make the most of it, no one's gonna make the most of it for us, are they? So you gotta go and you gotta do what you gotta do.
Nice, man. And I agree with that as well. If you do keep pushing yourself and keep trying new things and getting out of your comfort zone, eventually you will find that purpose and you will find that fulfillment, or something that does, generate that happiness inside you. For every person, there's a different type of fulfillment, right? Some people want that comfort, or they want that group of friends they can see every New Year's, etc. Whatever it is, it really depends on how you push yourself to get to that area. Now, if you're already at that area of comfort and happiness, I have two opinions on this, because I think we're both naturally driven people that we want to achieve a lot more. And I know I've talked to a lot of friends where for them, they don't have that same drive, and they want to achieve something that's comfortable for them. And that gives them fulfillment and purpose, where they can, create this relationship with a group of people that they can, grow old with, I guess. So it does come down to the individual, right? To find what your purpose is, you do need to push yourself. And how do you know if you find it? Well, do you feel happy, I guess, right?
Yeah, I think there's definitely levels, you know what I mean? Not everyone is on the same level, not everyone has the same drive, and I fully agree with you regarding that. But I think we all know individually that we can push ourselves that one little bit further. It ain't about comparison, it ain't about what Peter and I are doing or what you see other people that are successful doing. And I'm not saying that we're successful or anything like that. What I'm saying is, you know, often we compare ourselves with, oh, this guy or that guy, what they have or what they don't have, or what they've achieved and what they haven't achieved. Don't worry about that. It ain't about what anyone else is doing. Look at the levels in your life. There's always another level that you can go to in your life. If you're telling me you're fully complacent and you're happy with where you're at and you have nothing else to achieve and you're living a great life, all power to you. Do what you want to do, but I can guarantee you ain't going to be fulfilled for the rest of your life if you're doing what you're doing, living the same life you're living in 10 years time. If you can tell me you're honestly fulfilled, I think you're bloody lying, and that's a bit of a call out, and it could seem harsh to some people, but I'm just being brutally honest. Because I'm not here to lie to you guys. I'm not here to talk crap. I'm not here to share ideas that I don't believe in. And I believe 100% there's always more in every single area of life, and we need to find it. And it's not based on anyone else's standard. It's based on the own bar you set yourself. But you got to shift and push that bar, because no one can shift and push that bar or tell where you are at like you can when you look in the mirror, when you're at home, when you're at night in your bed thinking, could I have gone more or done more or seen more or achieved more? Don't worry about what's happened in the past. Think about what you can do tomorrow. What can you do the next week? What can you do this year? What can you achieve in 3, 4, 5 years? Think about it. I encourage you to.
I love it, man. Being harsh is good, because it's not being harsh for no purpose. There's a reason for that, and it's hearing what you need to hear to give you that level of push to really take yourself to that next level. And I love what you said about comparing. And I have a pet peeve about comparing, because this is something that my parents do every single hour of the day, and it's always a very negative vibe. If I'm saying oh, this breakfast is amazing, they're like, oh, the breakfast yesterday was better. I'm like, what value did that bring? Anything. You just deny this. And my parents both are from Russia, right? So if I said oh, New Zealand has an amazing a beach or something, they'll be like, oh yeah, the beach in Russia is better. I'm like, okay, well, why are you comparing? And then they always compare me to other people or more successful people, and then I'll turn on them like, okay, why are you comparing me to someone else? They had a completely different situation getting to what their goals were. They had a very nice financial background. It doesn't matter. Everyone has a different struggle to get to where they're at, and when you compare each other, it just brings no value. And then if I turn it on to them, I'll be like, well, here's my other friend who's, not doing a lot of things. So how is that a comparison? You should only be comparing myself to me, and then I get into this level of there's no reason, there's no value in comparison. I should just keep improving myself. And that's the only thing that can, I don't know, keep pushing me forward.
I actually liked it that you talked about sometimes it's not just comparisons to people above. We compare ourselves to people below, or we think people are below. To be honest, my mindset is that at the end of the day, I'm not above anyone or beneath anything. We should, I think, always be humble and respect everyone. But often, I think we do look at people and we think, oh, they're amazing. But we also look down on some people and we think, oh, we're better than them. You ain't better than anyone else. And the moment you start thinking you're better than someone else, or you start comparing in a negative manner, actually, and thinking that you've got a higher standard, I think is not a good place to be in. And, you set your bar. Whether someone is doing terribly, don't compare yourself to that standard, because that's like saying, oh, I'm great because I live in a first world country and, other people live somewhere else and they're struggling. Yes, you obviously comparatively have a better life, but it's not about worrying about how, they're doing it or setting your bar because of where they are at. Look at yourself. Look at yourself and all that you're doing, whether it's people that are greater or lesser. But really, no one is lesser than you, you know what I mean? Don't ever look down on someone. I don't like that sort of mindset. I don't live that certain way. Some people might like to, but end of the day, never look down on someone. We are all equal as people, whether you have a lot of success or whether you have a lot of money or nothing. I think we are all equal as people, and the moment we realize that, the world is a better place. But a lot of people don't think that. A lot of people act entitled. They think they're better than other people. And if you think like that, then flip the same. Personally, if you want to listen to this, I'm trying to tell you some things that I think will be helpful. And if you have that sort of mindset, please go think and reflect on that, because it's unhealthy, I think, personally. And yeah, that's what I think, and I'm going to share my genuine thoughts,
Absolutely, and how people treat other people as well. It doesn't matter if you're a CEO or you're cleaning floors, right? You should always treat everyone with respect. And I think seeing this out in public, like the way someone asks for a meal to a waiter, their rude demeanor showing how, if they are successful, they'll bring people down. And that's something that I've noticed, that it doesn't matter what position or state you're in, you should always be treating someone as a human being. Do you know what I mean?
100%. And I think this actually comes back to fulfillment. The way you treat others, we're not even talking about doing extra and helping others, really plays into your own fulfillment and purpose. If you're a dick and you don't respect or treat anyone well, I can guarantee you, I don't really know, but actually I do know, because I remember when I used to be an intermediate and when I was growing up I was immature, I was a dick to some people. I was even a bully at some points, and I'm not afraid to admit that, because I know I made a mistake and it wasn't right, and I can reflect on that. But that did not feel good for 1 second, and that did not bring me any fulfillment and purpose. But the crazy thing is, some people carry that sort of mindset into their business, into their life, and they're grown adults and they're still living like that, and that is disgusting to see. And if you're that type of person, I'm not calling you out. Actually, I am calling you out, because that's rude. You know what I mean? Think about how you're living. Think about how you're treating other people, because no one deserves to be kicked around or bullied or treated poorly. And if you think you have the right to do that, buddy, you don't have the right to do that.
Right. I think honestly, in today's world, it's also a common misconception of just because someone is an adult, they know how to treat other people. Do you know what I mean? And Taco's definitely getting a little bit more aggressive in terms of his advice is coming out. Nah, totally. And it's I find a lot of people, they will leave high school or leave university. They don't really keep growing in that sense of how to treat other people. And in fact, I think it's a reflection on themselves, because they could have been treated poorly growing up, or they're in a very bad financial situation. So when they see someone who is successful, has a lot of money, they treat them in a negative aspect, because otherwise they might think that that person doesn't deserve to be that wealthy or whatever. And that creates that situation where people, treat each other in a very hostile way. And I think it comes down to, comparing again, right? Because when you compare your life to someone else's, I had so many struggles growing up with this person, their parents bought them a car, for example. But then you can compare the other way. Well, you have a roof and this other person doesn't have a roof or even dinner to eat. So comparing is always going to be a negative state where it's not going to help you out. You should only focus on yourself, and that way you can always treat someone in a very humble way. And when a waiter comes, you would be polite to them. Yeah.
Yeah, I think also fulfillment it's really important to be genuine and be who you are. And honestly, if I can give you 2 tips that I think, for me personally, so this is my personal opinion, have brought a lot of fulfillment into my life day to day, is honestly just loving others and treating people with genuine respect and care, regardless of whether they're a cleaner or someone I'm running past on the street, and just saying hi. That actually brings me joy. One of my favorite things to do when I used to walk to uni and I'd see people on the street all the time is I'd love to catch them off guard and just say, hey, how are you going? Or good afternoon or something. And some people, they probably don't even expect you to say hi to them, and they have the most awkward response, so they don't even reply properly. Some people I didn't say how are you, I just said hi, and they're like, oh, I'm good, and it's cool because, I think it's really awesome to just share joy and happiness with the world and just be really real. And that will actually compound, I think, in business and relationships in all areas when you're genuine and loving, and that will bring you fulfillment and purpose in return. If you're an egg and you disrespect other people, I can guarantee you that only lasts for so long, and you're going to be burning bridges all over the show, and soon you ain't going to have any bridges to cross, and you're going to be stuck in a little moat, and you are going to know that you're an egg.
I think when it comes down to it, no one feels bad helping other people. I think that's a genuine human trait that we all share, is when you help someone else and they feel good and they smile and they thank you for it. No one feels bad doing that. And a common theme, Taco, that I noticed in all of your answers is that you always relate it to helping others, which I definitely agree with. We are social creatures, and we feed off each other's energy. And when you help someone or be nice to them, they have that positive energy, and that feeds onto you, and that gives you joy and happiness. And if you do that every single day, then you will start feeling fulfilled. I see, and some people do make it their purpose to help and be kind to as many people as they can. And I think that's a common theme when it comes to having a purpose in life is helping others.
Yeah, I think we're all joined together, and the fact that if I have experiences and knowledge and understanding that I can share to someone who's about to go through the same sort of walk and journey that I've been on, then why would I not want to share those ideas with them? I think this is something I've wanted to talk about for a long time, and I think this is a good opportunity to share about it, is, share good things. If you have something great, or or have, thoughts, knowledge, and insight that you think will make an impact in someone's life, and will, and you can help others, and it's not going to hurt you to share it, share the good things. I think we often try to hold back the secrets, or we think this and that is amazing, and I'm scared that if I share it with them, they're gonna outcompete me, and this and that. Don't worry about that. If you can be beaten by a few thoughts and concepts and ideas that you're going to share with someone, I can tell you, my friend, you're in the wrong place. Or you're one or two ideas or good things or powerful thoughts and concepts and understanding and knowledge and things that you carry should not be the basis of who you are. You should be comfortable giving those things away, and I'm still learning this, and I think I'm still growing in this, but definitely we should share more good things. Even if you find something amazing on the internet, some sort of link or music or this or that, don't hide it and be like, oh my gosh, I gotta keep this as a secret, I gotta keep this to myself. Like, that's a closed off mindset, and something that I've seen again and again, and starting to grow in my own life, is generosity is key to fulfillment and purpose. If you're closed off, you don't want to meet anyone, you don't want to do this and that, you're all uptight, that is a terrible life. That's restrictive, and that is going to put a strain on yourself, and you're going to be focusing more on what you aren't going to do and what you need to hold back than what you're going to do and what you're going to push forward and share and bless the world with and grow in.
Absolutely. And when it comes to me, Tucker, when someone is kind to me, or showing me a lot of generosity, it makes me feel good. And then what the first thing that I think of is, I really want to return this, act of kindness, and I want to help this person out as well. My friend the other day, we ordered lunch, and he paid for me out of the blue, and I was like, whoa, I was taken aback, because I know the situation that we're both in. We're both doing a course right now. We both quit our full-time jobs, and we still have to pay rent, so it's not the most ideal financial situation. And for him to pay for my meal really helped me out, actually. But at the same time, I know it's hard on his financial end. So that made me feel really good, and made me want to contribute and help him out. So the other after class, we ended up having a drink, and so I bought him the drink, and that made him feel good, because he even forgot about the lunch. And that kind of, I guess, almost like a random act of kindness, not too random since we were colleagues, but it really helped us out feel good, Like, we could have bought our own lunch and felt nothing, but because he had that first move buying me lunch, I already thought, wow, this guy is, he's pretty cool. It sparked a reaction for me, and it wanted me, I didn't feel like I was in debt to him, but I felt that I wanted to be kind to him because of his actions. And that's a spiral effect. Imagine how many people you can be nice to in every day, and then that will come back to you. And I believe that that's what karma is in a practical sense, where if you're constantly helping out other people around you, it's gonna come back, and people love to help each other, and the more people you help out.
Yeah, I think I really like what you talked about there, that it wasn't actually ideal for him to buy you lunch. I think something that fulfillment and purpose can be linked to is sacrifice. I had to sacrifice time in order to volunteer, and I'm not saying I'm some superhero, and I'm not special because I've volunteered. Anyone can volunteer, and I encourage you guys to do it. But sacrificing, whether it's money, time, anything in regards to being generous, I think is very, very key in order to build fulfillment and purpose, because it takes you beyond yourself, and it also, stretches you as a person. I think growing as a person, especially when you can feel like you've made a real impact in someone's life or situation, is huge in terms of fulfillment and purpose.
Absolutely. I definitely agree.
Do you think life naturally becomes more and more fulfilling, or do you think we need to intentionally seek out and plan and arrange for fulfillment to come and be built in our life?
Okay, so it's quite a long question to extrapolate that. I think I would say if you already felt fulfilled in a natural way, then it can come naturally to you, and you don't really have to seek it, because you found what gives you joy, you found what gives you happiness, and you continue doing that, and you have this sort of mission, then yeah. But if you're someone, and I know this happens to a lot of people, and when you feel depressed is when you lack this kind of sense of purpose and fulfillment, I think that's when you should start seeking it and actively trying to find, and it relates back to what you said at the beginning of this podcast, is to really push yourself, get out of your comfort zone, and really find what makes you happy, what gives you joy, how you can be genuine, and really see what feeling that gives you. Does it give you this purpose? Is this goal that you have right now giving you purpose? Does it give you fulfillment? Are you making a sacrifice to work in a position for 2 years where you don't like to get into a better position, but that will give you that fulfillment? Who knows? I believe it's a trial and error. No one can tell you, oh, this is what's going to give you purpose in life. Some people don't gain fulfillment from being genuine and nice to people. They get it from achieving the highest role in the company and becoming a CEO. We're all different people, and whether they're happy or not is another question. But it is to have that trial and error to get it. So I would say, yeah. What do you think about that, Tucker?
I think it needs to be seeked out intentionally. I think all good things and great things in our life long term that we build, we need to plan and think about them. And it doesn't need to be crazy planning, but we need to be intentional about seeking out goodness. You don't get something good by just hoping it will happen. No one's ever built anything or success or become a great athlete or this and that or whatever we see in the world as successful or special by just thinking, oh, I'm just gonna maybe do that, I'm gonna maybe try that. That's not fulfilling. To live half-hearted, to not do the best that you can do, and to not serve yourself and grow as a person and really take care of yourself. That's not fulfilling. Like, if you go and eat a bag of chips now, you're going to feel great, but fulfillment is long term. It's building your health. It's taking care of yourself. And I think that has to be done intentionally. There's no other way you can achieve that. And if you try to have a certain level of naturally being intentional and letting things just go without planning and without thinking about it, it's not going to get you where you want to go.
I see.
Do you think fulfillment can be found within your comfort zone?
If you are already in your comfort zone and you feel you get a sense of purpose, but more or less, I would say no. To be honest, I would say that you'd first have to leave your comfort zone to really challenge yourself and really get to another level. Because when you do leave the comfort zone, that's where you grow the most, and when you grow, there's a lot of achievement involved in that. But like I said a little bit earlier on, is that some people want to be comfortable. They want that comfort zone. They want a whole I'm actually not sure if they want that, to be honest. So a lot of times I see a group of friends who've been friends since from kids, and they all seem happy on the outside. Actually, I'm not too sure how they do feel on the inside. So it's a difficult question, and I think fulfillment is hard because we all have such different goals and needs. But I would say ideally you would probably need to leave your comfort zone and definitely challenge yourself and be able to achieve something that gives you a higher sense of purpose.
Yeah, personally, I think that you definitely need to go outside of your comfort zone and you need to stretch. It goes right back to what we were talking about, and it links back to exploring and trying new things. You're not going to be exploring and trying very new things or stretching yourself if you just stay where you're comfortable. And quite frankly, I think that push to a new level to grow, we need to go beyond where we are. We need to do more and be more than we've ever been before in order to reach newer levels of fulfillment, greater success. We need to push forward and go upwards and onwards, not just stay in a plateau or go downwards, I think.
Yeah, if you guys want to find purpose, if you want to find that fulfillment, get out there, chase it, fail, make mistakes, stand back up, keep going, and eventually you'll find that fulfillment, you'll find that purpose, and that journey would be worthwhile. That's the most worthwhile thing you can do in your life, is really challenging and pushing yourself to achieve that. And honestly, always being genuine, not only to people around you, but also to yourself. Genuinely chase what you want and try your hardest. And with that, guys, I want to thank you all for staying with us and listening to about 30 minutes of me and Taco talking. I hope you guys benefited from a lot of things that we covered today. Obviously, there's a lot of our own personal opinions, and share this with a friend and any of your family members or anyone else you could think could benefit from this information. Or if you guys want to throw it out, some questions as well for us to focus on the future, and if it helped us, please give us that feedback. It will help us out. And yeah.
You can get at us with your questions on RICEVODKALIFE@gmail.com, or you can find us on Instagram or anywhere else. Thanks again for listening, and have an incredible rest of your week. We look forward to sharing with you again next week.
Peace out, guys.